Welcome back to Notre Dame Day. I'm Jack Nolan, and I'm pleased to be joined now by the Executive Director of the Notre Dame Alumni Association, Dolly Duffy. Thank you for spending some time with us here today. Now, as a member of the class of 1984, you celebrated with everybody Notre Dame's 175th anniversary, but now the Alumni Association has a big anniversary to celebrate this year.
Yeah, it's great to be able to celebrate two back-to-back. On June 23rd of this year, we'll celebrate 150 years as an alumni association. So it didn't take long.
And this is, full disclosure, I'm proud that I'm a Missouri grad. There's a few of us here on campus, but I have never been around, and I grew up in Boston in the center of the Ivy League. I have never been around an alumni network as active or as strong, and I've spoken to many of the clubs, as Notre Dame's. In fact, I was in Oslo, Norway about 10 years ago on a bus driving through the center of the city, and there was a shop front that said, Notre Dame Alumni Association of Oslo. You are everywhere.
Absolutely. We just had our leadership conference just this last week, and we had all of our leaders from all over the world, and we had one that had recently started pulling together the 3 alums in Macedonia. And he was very excited because they were going to have another one for the summer, and so he said they're going to have a 33% increase in their membership.
Well, I'm sure you promised him Brian Kelly as their first speaker
Absolutely.
at their first meeting.
And I said I'd come too.
Yeah, and Brian will be delighted to hear about that. I'm sure about that. What special activities do you have scheduled as an association to celebrate 150 years?
You know, we've really been focused on it, and we are doing something called the re-envisioning of the Alumni Association. And there are a number of things that come out of that. The ones that come to mind, I'd say, is for the first time ever, we're going to have a young alumni board that we're kicking off in July. That'll give us a really great chance to get the pulse of our young alumni. And what they've said to us is, we want more. Kind of to everyone's surprise. We also have a new storytelling platform called We Are ND that launches every Monday a story, every Monday a new story. And the great part about that is that it's really the whole force for good. It gives us a chance to tell some amazing stories.
You just touched on the new club in Macedonia. How fast are you continuing to grow? How many new clubs do you form each year?
We don't form a lot because we already have every bit of the country and the world allocated into a club. So we currently have 270 clubs, 220 of them are domestic and the rest are international.
Now, the Alumni Association has always been open to membership for non-alumni, but they've never been able to hold leadership positions in those clubs before, and that's something that you're trying to change.
So they can lead the clubs, but they haven't been able to sit on our board. And if you know anything about the Alumni Association, about 3 years ago, we changed our tagline that says Alumni and Friends so that we can embrace someone just like you.
And what kind of energy? Because, I mean, again, the Dallas-Fort Worth clubs have very active members, and you're right, I misspoke, who were like the vice president of, I think, the Dallas club, not a Notre Dame graduate. What kind of energy do they bring, a perspective do they bring to your board now that you're allowing them to be part of it?
I would say that they bring a huge amount of energy, and it just dovetails perfectly in with our alumni that have been so active in running these clubs for 150 years.
You know, one of the biggest times of year is reunion weeks, alumni reunion weeks, and they're coming up. And boy, you guys do it right.
Thank you.
You've got the shuttles everywhere. You've got the events for all of the various classes. So if there is an alumnus who hasn't come to an alumni reunion weekend yet, why should they? What will they experience?
Oh, I can't even tell them how much they're missing out. Because you think when you leave, you know a lot of your classmates, but this many years later, you can meet so many people who can enrich your lives. We have so much fun. There's academic, there's social, there's all kinds of things for every class.
When you talk to the various classes, how do their attitudes and emotions change as they come back 10 years out, 20 years out, and then I'll jump to the end, 50 years out? 60 years out.
Well, there is nothing like watching the 50-year class come together. That's a magical moment. But one of the great things is we talk about the fact that our young alums are telling us they want more. One of the great parts about that is for the last 5 consecutive years, each class year over year has broken the record for the 5-year coming back to reunion. We had over 400 members of that class come back last year.
Dolly, you are so engaged. Every major Notre Dame event that I show up at, regardless of where it is around the country, you inevitably are always there. So thank you for your efforts and enthusiasm.
I'm thrilled to do it. Thanks.
Thank you.